What is up, everybody? We are live. Today we're going to be ripping a drafters.com stream. I'm going to be giving away a free ticket to the Drafters Best Ball Championship after every Drafters stream. This first one, I'm going to probably randomize by Monday, but should streamline it once I figure out how to randomize and check that everyone's entered. I dropped the Twitter link of mine. If you are watching and you want to get in the free entry, just make sure you subscribe to my YouTube and follow the Twitter prompts there. I am running on fumes in terms of sleep. Let's check to see how many. We need 8 more for today's draft. With me having gone to, let's get this link to help the people. Gonna tweet this out. With me having gone to Vegas and living in the East Coast, my sleep's been a little messed up last night. I fell asleep at like 8, but then I woke up at midnight and stayed up pretty much all night until I took a nap. So going to try and normalize that soon. Let me tweet out the link to join. Promo code Cheslium if you are wanting to get signed up on drafters.com. 8 more to draft. Let's tweet that out. Close our Twitter. Michael says he's just out here to outdraft Liam. Good luck. Do you think this is going to fill or have layover? Rick, you're talking about overlay, not layover, mixing it up there. But I think it's really hard to say. My guess is that it will overlay. I ran a poll on Twitter yesterday or 2 days ago asking about basically where the contest fill rates were at and what we think it would get to. And my guess was that the contest would fill 74%. It's only at 10, around 10% right now, called 11% at the moment. And, unless some like huge Twitter accounts, like come August, I think, you'll just have some niche Twitter accounts late that will tell people about overlay. But if some huge Twitter accounts start telling people, maybe it will fill. But I think it really depends what happens to the contest on DraftKings and Underdog as well in terms of if it is going to fill. But yeah, my guess right now is it will overlay. We can just see the other contests are at 30% filled. They're at around 11%, but they have a smaller contest to fill at the same time. However, if you are, only firing a couple teams, you should probably be entering on the site that's going to overlay. Drafters, for those who don't know, is not a playoff format best ball. It is strictly whoever has the most points will be the champion. Let me remember how to check how many. We need 2 more to fill this contest. As soon as this contest fills, we will draft. Thanks a lot, guys. Wow, we're already there. Thanks a lot for helping me fill these. Really helps. I try to give a lot of notice for when I'm going to do these streams. Because that's the only thing with drafters is since it fills slower. We got the 103, a great draft slot. It's kind of cool here, too, that you can vote. Like, I'm ready. Let's draft. I've never seen it filled. Build. Let's go. Eric says he can do Underdog and DK, but not drafters. That's a shame. Eric, you can always drive over state lines, get those slow drafts in. Paul says, I'm ready to win a lot of money, Liam. Hey, Paul, you're speaking my language on this channel. Not many other people have won $1 million playing fantasy football. I'm one of them. We ain't just talking theoretical on this channel. Carlos is laughing. Thanks, Carlos. Morano says, how do you link your YouTube account to your Twitter account? I'm not quite sure what you mean by that. Nothing better than getting the 103 to the 105? Hey, man, you don't like the 101 or the 102? Those are pretty great spots, too. Eric says that slow drafts drain his life source. Hey, man, I feel that, brother. So, something else I like about drafters is you can see how many drafts people have done. So, like, this is my 60th. This is Up Dogs 105. And this is Jet Fan 715 is a virgin drafter. Virgin drafter alert. Woo, 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 woo. Welcome to the site, Jet Fan 715. Or at least welcome to the contest this year. A couple other sub 10 guys. Jake stays online, firing his second. If you guys signed up for this, thanks. Promo code Cheslium. Get you signed up on Drafters or Underdog. Sounds good, Dustin. Yeah, you don't even need to be, as far as my giveaway, you don't even need to be part of the drafters yet to win it. You know, like you can make your account expo facto, but you might as well. Willis says, hope you use code Chesley. Me too, man. Me too. Let's see. Been getting the 110 to the 112 a lot. That's how my portfolio shook out last year on Underdog, and turned out to be lucky. We'll take Cooper Cup. You don't gotta bend my arm to do that. I know on some of the high stakes sites, people prefer Justin Jefferson there, but we're gonna take Cup. Matt Stafford is just such a wide receiver producer. If you have any strategy questions, please ask them in the chat. Rick says, really like the Berkey stream. Been following him for a while. Thanks, man. Yeah, I'm going to try to get more people on from the poker community. Have some fun guests lined up for next week already. I believe I'm going to have on Peter Jennings, CSU Ram 88, otherwise known as. It's one of the OG best ballers from my knowledge, at least. So I'm excited to talk to him about where the platform has gone. And I'm going to be reaching out to other poker players, hoping that their schedules work. I know the winner of the WSOP Player of the Year race. He, I believe, has been in some of these best ball discords, Dan Zach. So I'm going to reach out to him too. I could see him being interested in firing up a stream. If you have a favorite strategy, drop it in the YouTube chat. Eric bringing up the Chase versus Jefferson exposure. I mean, ultimately, of course, I'm Team Chase. He won me $1 million, but it does feel a little wrong to not try to get exposed to both. Although, then again, there's going to be one winner of this contest. So I don't think it's wrong at all if you want to say, I'm going to be exposed to this player and not this player. Especially if you are not going to, if you're not doing that many drafts, take the guy you like better. I feel like if you're a Vikings fan, take Jefferson. Unless you're one of those miserable fans who likes to hedge their bets. How do you think cumulative scoring changes the 2 versus 3 quarterback situation? Kevin, I think ultimately we have to really be drafting like we're right on drafters. I wrote an article, I think it's on fantasypoints.com. It talks a lot about the quarterback position. I recommend you check it out. But if I have Josh Allen, I'm doing max 2. If I have Pat Mahomes, I'm probably doing max 2. If my first quarterback is Trevor Lawrence, I'm doing 3. So it really depends how you drafted. But I don't think you're drawing real thin to win if you do something like Mahomes and Allen, Mahomes and Herbert. I think double elite quarterback is ultimately better for the playoff formats. Lunder says, As a Vikings fan, I can comfortably say we're all miserable. Hey, man, I'm a Bills fan. There were some rough years there. I know very well that the fandom can break into the optimistic crowd and the pessimistic crowd slash realistic crowd. It's a fine line. And like the pessimistic crowd gets so fucking smug, in my opinion, as fans, because yeah, guess what? If every year you predict your team is not going to win the Super Bowl, you're going to be right most years. Like that's just the nature of the NFL, and they can self-inflate their ego, being like, "Oh, I knew we were going to be bad." Like, congratulations. All right, let's see who's on the clock for me here. Running back, nah. Wide receiver, we could do it. Quarterback, no. Mark Andrews. Okay, I have a lot of Andrews from earlier, so might as well get him when he's falling. I don't think I have many Cup Andrew starts. Justice says, let's go Bills. Hey. Let's go Bills. Obligatory. As an Eagles fan, at least you have Justin Jefferson, Lindor. Hey, man. I get that. That's rough for the Jalen Reagor stands. Although, hey, we saw Cordero Patterson with the 8th year breakout. You never know for some of these guys. What are your thoughts on -2 for What are your thoughts on -2 for interceptions and fumbles on drafters versus the standard -1? I've noticed it flat lines scoring. Let me get back to that. Okay. And just like no one really feels right in this range. We're going to take Kamara. Get an anchor star at each of the skill positions. And he's a falling guy, so it helps for my portfolio. Back to the question. I've noticed that flattens quarterback upside and season-long averages. Yeah, ultimately on PPR sites, the quarterback's going to be a little bit less important. I doubt the -2 versus -1 is that noteworthy. Obviously, it dings bad quarterbacks a little bit more. Yeah, 31 out of 32 odds of being right if you're negative. Sounds plus EV, though. Jesus. How did I become a Bills fan? Because I'm loyal, M. Trakey. My dad was a Bills fan. I grew up watching. I grew up in New Hampshire, though. So I grew up in New England country. That was rough somewhat. But that's how you know I'm no bandwagon fan. Justin says he's gone more the route of liking players instead of teams because of his poor St. Louis Rams. Yeah, man, I think like there was some when the Bills got bought this last cycle, there were some rumors of them trying to get moved, and barring like a move to like Canada, I think I would just become an NFL fan and not like if the Bills moved to Austin, I'd have to really think about that, but I don't think I'm a Bills fan. And I'm not even like that tied to Buffalo, but Saints Bills Super Bowl realistic in 2023. I don't know where this is coming from, Paul, but I don't hate it. Saints got a shot. Bills are obviously the 1 seed, destined for Super Bowl greatness. Leverage your house, bet it on them winning. Just kidding. This is not financial advice. Hope you guys are enjoying this stream. Make sure you are subscribed to the YouTube, like this video, and check out that Twitter giveaway I have for a free ticket on Drafters. If Kamara gets suspended, he's obviously a much worse pick on Drafters than he is on Underdog. But if he doesn't, well, then he's going to be, or if his suspension gets pushed back, then he's going to be a pretty good pick. So ultimately, with all the lottery style GPPs, the large field ones, I'm not afraid about drafting players that are, that could hurt my team. I'm gonna get to one of those comments in a moment here. Um, wow, some really changing ADPs. I'm gonna grab Robinson and set up the Stafford double because I don't have any. Um, like probably if I had to think about it, maybe it's more optimal to take another wide receiver there, but it's pretty fun to do the super stack options on any site really, but especially drafters and with the 20 rounds, like Cup and Robinson should lock up, you know, 80% plus of passing production in the early season. Juju goes, would have been okay with him. Lamar went, could have grabbed him. Let's grab Kittle and be done at tight end. Doing double elite tight end here. Filling my slot or filling my flex essentially with the tight end position. Dustin said, I found cutting my fandom for teams helped me in my DFS prep because I didn't have any predetermined notions. Yeah, Dustin, I think some of my most profitable slates in the past couple of years have been when Bills are either in a primetime game or on bye because I'm not just force jamming Josh Allen stacks. But, if you're going to be a homer, it doesn't really hurt to have the best team in the NFL. FF Doom says, I appreciate drafters keeping receivers piss colored on the board. I get that. Lunder asks, do you have any rules of thumbs at all? Like, I want 4 wide receivers by round 7 or anything like that. I think that it's good to have like a foundation in that, Lunder, and be aware of that, but I'm not forcing any structure like that. Like it's very likely I'm going to go wide receiver in round 6, 7. So I will have 4 by round 7. But if I like the running back better there, if I like a quarterback better there, tight end pretty much just have to skip now. And I like the Mark Andrews. Sorry, guys. Again, running on fumes here. The Mark Andrews, George Kittle combination is fun because let's say at worst, George Kittle is the boom and bust guy this year. Mark Andrews should be giving you like floor weeks of 10 points or something, which is like ceiling weeks of people trying to jam in 3 tight ends late. So pretty fun start here on my squad. Man, Gage is getting so expensive. Like that's ahead of Godwin. Godwin and Hopkins go like they pretty much are in the same range that they go on underdog. That has to be wrong, right? Like I still think both of them can show up on the ultimate winner of the contest at a high clip, especially if it's done right. But it just seems like wrong that they are priced the exact same on a playoff format site. Yeah, I would FF Doom, especially on DK if I think the room was just soft, like really soft. Like I wouldn't limit myself to just to get weird, just to get different from the field. Like how many people are jamming in 3 elite tight ends? I would guess sub 0.5%. Okay, we are on the clock, and yeah, like I kind of do want to take one of these running backs. I'm gonna take Mitchell. Like if at worst he's just like the boom bust speed guy, that seems pretty good. Josh Jacobs was also in contention for me there, but Yeah, I don't have as much Mitchell as I kind of want. Like I have a lot of Tyrion Davis Price, but hey, Mitchell is like, I think he ran like a 4.240 or something absurd. That's pretty fun player to be able to plug into your running back position every week. And we're going to grab a wide receiver between London and Michael Thomas. With us having Kamara, we're going to go London. And so we have a Kamara, Mitchell, Cup Robinson, London, Andrews, Kittle start. That's how I like it. So we have filled all of our starting positions, including our flex. Shout out Felix. You can check out his channel as well. He says, hit the like, hit the subscribe button, smash that subscribe button. Promos code Cheslium. Don't know how many subscribers I'm quite up to. I think it goes up at like 550. Make sure you're subscribed to be eligible for the giveaway. So Jake Stays Online here did the double elite quarterback, and it's just, in my opinion, it's hard to win because the opportunity cost when you're double tapping Mahomes and Trey Lance is you're saying no league winner separator types are going to emerge from the 5th or 6th round, which is a thin bet to make. Yeah, Lunder, I don't know if that's just smoke, the Raiders running back situation. Like maybe Josh Jacobs, like who knows, man? Like they had such to go from Gruden to whatever the hell the interim coach was to now, this McDaniels, like I don't know. I'm throwing up my arms. I don't think it's that predictable at this point. We'll just have to see how it shakes out. But like, yeah, I could see Josh Jacobs being in a committee. I could also see him having the role he did last year, including the increased pass catching and being an absolute smash. So he's in like round 6, 7. He's not that gross. Like 2 years ago, he was a first round pick. Him and Chubb. I remember because I was taking him in the first round. I think I was really bad at best ball 2 years ago. But we all were. We all still probably are kind of. Let's see how this shakes out. Some good-looking teams. No complaints from me. The 12-hole, fresh picks, going 0 RB with a Dobbins anchor. Probably should be doing that with the later round draft picks quite a bit. You don't exactly want to be betting against these running backs. But I also take some some what's it called? Brees Hall, ETN teams, etc. at that spot. Okay. Is this you, Felix? I don't know. All right, we're just gonna take Stafford. We don't need to run the gambit on this, and we'll just let the market decide who makes it back to us. So, got our quarterback to go with Cup and Robinson. I would have been pissed off if one of these guys took him. So, might as well get him. The quarterback correlation probably more important on drafters than underdog. Paul asked about Hawkinson versus Schultz. I am Team Schultz. And I've not been taking a lot of Hawkinson, which I had a lot last year. Could bury me, but whatever. Okay. We need to get some more wide receiver bodies on this team. think I'm just gonna grab Sky Moore. Could have grabbed Robert Woods there. Could have grabbed Garrett Wilson, but give me Sky Moore. There was a report from McCole Hardman where he mentioned like all the wide receivers by name except for Sky Moore, and it's like, of course he's not going to mention Sky Moore. A, Sky Moore is drawing live to take his job. B, like you don't shout out rookies before you even went through training camp unless they're like, the 103 of the actual NFL draft. So now I have a flex option at the wide receiver position as well. Not just tight end. And I mean, in general, I do want to be taking running backs around 9 and 10, but we can get one in rounds 10 and 11. With me having Kamara and Mitchell, I think on drafters you can almost always go around 6 running backs. Like you don't have to push it that much with like fragility. There's a chat button here, guys, by the way. I always forget about that. And you can do it by messages. Let's see. Welcome to the draft. Good luck. Jake hyping up fresh. Some positivity in the chat. Like it. This is my 60th drafters draft. Weekend streaming schedule. Not sure about tomorrow, but maybe tomorrow night, but should at worst probably rip one on a Sunday. Seems like some of the people appreciate these weekend streams. So just stay tuned to my Twitter or subscribe to be notified about when I go live. Doom says, I wish DK had a chat option. Yeah, man, I think all the sites should have chat options. A, I think it's fun to like rib people. B, I think in general it would be more distracting for other people than me. Cairo Jag, thank you for giving me credit for this. You killed Gabe Davis's ADP single-handedly. Some of these other analysts trying to take credit for Gabe Davis, but it was obviously his playoff performance, and I think I certainly helped it though. James asked, how much season-long fantasy leagues do you usually do? Let me get to this question in a moment here. Again, just gonna price and force on Ken Walker. Have absolutely zero from when he went in the like 80s and shit. So just smart for my portfolio to add to that now. Couple other great questions I'm going to get to after my pick. Looks like I'm going to be taking Christian Watson here. I think this guy who took Rodgers should have taken him, but he went Rodgers and Cousins. Being stacked is a little less important. I could also grab Madison, but I have a lot, so we'll grab Watson. Fun high upside swing for my team. Thank you for the warning. You're welcome. It's a compliment. I know it's a compliment. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, how many season longs? Going to do quite a bit this year. Probably going to end up somewhere around 10 main event teams. I'm the commissioner of my home league. It's like a $50 buy-in, but so I do that every year. I didn't do any main events last year. I think I did a couple football guys. And I'm on some like obscure sites like RT Sports this year. I did a couple, so I don't know. Maybe I'll have around 20 to 25. Ultimately, like I really like season long. I'm a waiver grinder too, but I really prefer best ball. Like it's just really hard to do volume, and then like having to be organized is not my greatest strength. So, like, having to do the waivers every Wednesday, like, blah, blah, blah. Waller can't be double teamed anymore. Whoa, whoa. Inappropriate alert. Just kidding. Just kidding. There's cheap options, though. There's cheap options to stack them up. One FanDuel GPP best ball. Brother, I don't think that's coming. Ship chasing appearance was correlated with Gabe's rise. Yeah, maybe. I mean, also just like big, like, you know, when Matthew Barry starts talking about a player, like, look, it's mainstream. And that's no shot at Matthew Barry, the GOAT, you know. When you, I like this question. When you stack, is it minus EV to include the non-pass catching running back? It's minus EV in a week-to-week scenario, but it can be positive EV in a season-long scenario. For example, if you take Mahomes and Ronald Jones, and let's pretend that Ronald Jones becomes the rusher. Yes, they're unlikely to get there each week, but they're negative correlated like weekly. However, they're positive correlated if it's a good team that scores a lot of touchdowns, where if it's not Mahomes 1 week, it's probably Ronald Jones. So you're capturing lots of points that way. Yeah, James. I mean, I finished last in my home league last year after winning it the year before for the first time. Still stinks. Still stinks. Helped a little bit to bink BBM2, but Carlos, this makes sense. The more I get into best ball and DFS, less interest I'm finding season long. We don't want FanDuel best ball. Guilty Wings mentioned. Yeah, I mean, Jeffrey, this isn't news though. Like Mitchell's durability, like who cares if he's not getting 20 carries this year? If he's let's say it's down to 12. Mitchell's appeal is that he can score 80-yard rushing touchdowns. That's hugely appealing for best ball, especially for drafters where it doesn't have to come in the playoff weeks. Death taxes and San Francisco using multiple running backs. Yeah, I'm not going to accept too many like rando invites. I've had some industry friends reach out, be like, "Hey, do you want to join my league?" And I'm like, "Oh man, I just really don't want to, like, you know, God forbid I want to go travel outside the US or something. And now I got to be studying all these fucking waivers in like Paris or whatever." All right. We're in round 12. We need to get someone. Trevor Lawrence kind of seems like a tier gap. So does Henderson. Henderson's a pass catching guy on the Rams, so and it's potentially like Akers is not going to be like maybe Akers won't play third downs, kind of like Joe Mixon. So even with me having the two pass catchers, I like Henderson, especially again in these 20 round formats. I shouldn't even be looking at tight end. I am stopping at 2. I'm going to put the fragility on the tight end position with me having 2 of the top 4 guys. This guy took Lawrence. I like that for his team. I'm going to push quarterback. I think I'm going to like Jameson Williams is just so talented and Parker is not, but I just don't have that much Devontae Parker. He potentially is the wide receiver one there, sets up a cheap stack. So we'll add Parker to this team. Okay, let's see. Cairo, every year for my home league, we try to I want to do something fun, and have us, like having watched the league, I want to have us bet on kids races and other degenerate activity, submit your fastest beer chug or whatever. But every year I ultimately end up randomizing using ESPN's whatnot. Yeah, Lunder liking my point about the positive season-long correlation. James, I'm not sure what you're talking about with computers driving cars. Morano asks, am I more targeting good wide receivers with a high target share or good receivers on good offenses in full PPR, like Pittman or Mike Williams being the examples? I like Mike Williams a lot, so like I try to target him on all sites. Um, touchdowns a little bit less important, but of course, Pittman is a bit of a better pick on full PPR just because we were expecting his volume to be so much. So the answer is both, but like ultimately, like Mike Williams is drawing to be the wide receiver one on like the second best team in the NFL. I don't have to worry about his quarterback getting old. I don't have to worry about his his team going really run heavy. So it's hard. And like Pittman has gotten wildly expensive. Mackenzie asking about taking low owned players at the end. I think that's extremely plus EV. Always in theory, right? Like in theory, it's always plus EV to get low owned players. So I would be trying to do that. Yeah, Michael, it's kind of hard to like change your brain for the different sites, but Underdog, like I really think through. Blitzology asking me some really niche chess questions. Brother, save it for when I'm up and running on my chess channel. I don't get that in the weed. Like, I'm not like, oh, this guy's going to be a 29% target share versus like a 23% target share. It's kind of like draft. FF Doom, I will not accept this Antonio Williams slander. Actually, I should have started with a trivia question. The third string running back on the Giants is Antonio Williams. Famously, I believe he has the highest average points per game of any running back ever. Now, he only played like one NFL game. However, it was against the Dolphins week 17, and they needed to make the playoffs, or week 18, 2 years ago. And he's with the Bills backups, he scored like 3 touchdowns or something. I always thought there was a lot of interest, potential there in him, but it didn't come out to be. So, what pick number are we at? 167. Not gonna force any of these running backs. Gonna grab Kendrick Bourne, doubling up on this New England exposure with 2 cheap guys who should be good additions. But yeah, there's like Matt Breina's only 26, Dalvin Cook's only 26, CMC's only 26. Like there's some young guys. Do I prefer 3 Hill, King of the Hill, or 3 check? I don't know, man. I play the regular chess formats. The site I found has him as a running back 5 on the team. Rough go, dude. Someone look up his RAS profile. And then we're going to grab Mac Jones, of course. With me having Stafford and Mac Jones, those are 2 pocket passing guys, no rushing upside. I'm not excluding myself from going 3 quarterback if there's a guy I like falling. Yeah, Michael, I was famously a Kendrick Bourne hater from his 49ers days. Like I remember the playoff game of the Niners and Vikings where the Niners were like huge favorites and lost, and Kendrick Bourne was like dropping countless touchdowns in the end zone. I was like, this guy's trash. Then he had a great year last year, so I'm just kind of like chasing box scores with him a little bit. But and he's gotten way more expensive on drafters. Like all my exposure to him on like underdog is like round 17, round 18. So don't know why he's so much more expensive on drafters, but in general, zeros don't hurt you as much on this site. So like if Bourne or Parker, like let's just pretend one gets cut and the other one becomes the wide receiver 1 on the team, like, that's fine. Really fine for your team. Jake says, "I'm getting sniped from either side. Tough scene." It just shakes out that way sometimes. Cairo bringing up Magnus Carlsen backing out as the world chess champion. Yeah, man. I mean, some people were calling him like a dick to be doing it after the candidates. It's not my take. The guy's 31. He wants to live his life. He'll be back. Like, he's not retiring from chess. He'll be back. And look, his reign was going to come to an end eventually anyways. The young crowd is just, like the tools they have nowadays. And he, we got to blame FIDE somewhat. Like, people just don't like the structure of the World Chess Championship. A lot of people into Born on this stream. Something that could kill our Born bags is I remember reading through some of the early New England. Maybe one of the New England fans can help me in the chat. I think Doom is. I remember reading through the early reports, and some guy who I believe is like an undrafted free agent, I don't even know his names, like, he was getting really hyped up in these camp reports. I couldn't even guess at his name. It's not Tyquan Thornton. It's not someone who's been drafted on probably more than like 4 teams. But succeeding without pads and without defense, that's not anything to write home about. Trey Nixon, yes, thank you, Dune. Trey Nixon's getting a ton of hype early, so we'll see if that carries over. Every year, though, you have some camp stars that fade. Dustin says, "I think I would want more Thornton over Bourne, but I get it." Yeah, but Dustin, when you're firing 150 teams, like, evaluating a team off of one pick when it's close is like, who cares? Let's see. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 picks left. And I'm just going to scoop this value on Matt Ryan. Like, I'm not even necessarily going to stack with him. Let's see. Paris Campbell's gotten really expensive, so that dream is gone. Maybe this guy was setting up for Matt Ryan to make it back to him, but with me having 3 pocket passing guys, no rushing upside, I kind of like having 3 shots on goal. And yeah, like, I'm not even going to stack Matt Ryan necessarily. I don't really care for it. It's just really solid 3 quarterbacks when you don't have a rushing option. After KJ Hamler, like, no one's a fun click. Running back position, Gus Edwards is like not that fun on PPR sites, but it is an ADP value. I'll grab Edwards. I could grab Hamler and be pretty much done at wide receiver, but we'll give him to someone else. I have a lot of Hamler exposure, and again, we're scooping value. If Kamara has to weather some suspension, getting some extra bodies helps at the running back. So 4 running backs I really like the upside of. Edwards, I like the thing with Edwards on PPR sites is just like it's thin to see the path for like a spike week. So, like, what's it take? Let's like 2 touchdowns. That's 12 points. 60 yards. No catches. Okay, that's 18 points. Like, that's good, but it required 2 touchdowns. Like, it's just hard. Oh, woo! That's a steal on Gus. Sir, I do not want to be served a cease and desist by Peter Overzet. Keep your bits to his channel. Carlos says, someone just took Bourne 3 rounds ahead of ADP in a DK best ball draft I'm doing. That person has to be watching the stream. Could be. Very late round strats I do a lot, Michael, at this point in the offseason, but it will always make sense to take running backs that are either not being drafted that much or have high contingency value. Maybe one of my next drafter streams, I will look through some of my teams, or maybe I'll do it at the end here. Guys, if you're enjoying this, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Reveal yourself, Carlos says. Come on, we know you're listening. Reveal it. And yeah, man, we're at the slow part of the NFL news cycle, but we are going to speed up quick. It was like around 50 days until NFL starts earlier this week. It feels so much closer than that, but like I feel like when it's going to be August, I'm going to be like, oh, September in NFL, but you still got to wait like 2 weeks, I think, once we reach September. It will go quick, but like in this Matt Ryan value, like you can see, like looks like Updog maybe got locked out at quarterback, having to grab Pickett in round 18 over Watson. Interesting. I like this team I've built quite a bit. We got 2 elite tight ends. We have 5 fun running backs so far, either on good offenses or, like Ken Walker, really stud profile. We have 7 fun wide receivers with some stack options. We're not going to stack Matt Ryan, probably. I don't think we'll get it, but is Emmanuel Sanders worth a late pick? No, he is retiring. If you're going to go that route, grab Cole Beasley. He's not confirmed to be retired. Sanders is 35, dog. No. Hall of Fame game Thursday, August 4th. Hey, that's some NFL. Sir Sheep said Deontay. Oh, that's why he grabbed. That is up, dog. Get off my screen. Who are we grabbing here? Oh, God. My, virus protector is just running rogue. Oh, God, I'm panicking. Man, it is so fucking gross. We're going to throw James Washington in the queue. I guess. James Washington, oh, no, I got auto-picked it, too. Remember on drafters, you go auto-pick right away, so make sure to just turn that off here. Okay, so James Washington bull case. A, I have very little exposure, so let's get some. B, he's he's always been kind of good. He was playing with a noodle arm quarterback. Tolbert could be bad, right? So maybe he sees the field more. And at worst, if he's just couple snaps deep threat guy, he can give you 3 spike weeks or whatever. Let's add some running backs. Dearness Johnson just too talented, I think, not to take him here. And that brings us to a 3-6-8-2, with us likely going wide receiver with the last pick, but we could also force running back. Yeah, so Updog saying he's taken Pickett because of him having Deontay Johnson, but yeah, I don't know. Doesn't seem like it was any threat to go, but I've not been ripping drafters for a little bit, so maybe his ADP has rise. Cobb could see a ton of touchdowns. Oh, man. Please no. 90% of teams have veterans in camp starting 7/26. Let's go. I'm excited for that. Yeah, late last night when I woke up at midnight and then stayed up until 10 a.m. Got a quick nap before this, but I was just trying to read The Athletic and other news, and it is slow, man. And that's reflected in my views too. Either A, people are tiring of me, or B, it's a little bit slow news cycle. Could be both, Ricky Seals-Jones selected. Daniel Bellinger was just placed on the PUP list. Seems like he just got a little injury. A lot of hype about him. The rookie tight end, athletic freak for the Giants. I have some Ricky Seals-Jones teams from earlier, so. Have you taken any Rudolph? No, and I probably will not. How old is Kyle Rudolph? Someone tell me how old he is. Smy Eunice says, any more drafts after this? I don't think today. I'm just running on fumes. It's Friday. I'm gonna rip a volcano bag here, lay down. But you know, brother, we ripped a draftathon on this channel. You know, like we have a 10-hour stream on this channel for you to watch. Click through my channel. There's plenty of old ones. FF Doom telling me how old he is, 63. Carlos corrected him. He's 47. Come on, guys. Tell me how old he is. Wow. Gross. Might just grab Odell here for like his 1 week of production late. No, we can't do that. We can't do that. Let's grab James White. I'm not convinced he's done. He correlates with Mac Jones. It's our second. So with Stafford and Mac Jones, on both of those guys, we have a running back and 2 pass catchers. So that's kind of fun. So what that does is it puts a little stress on your roster in the sense that you need these guys to produce. And at the same time, it makes it so that you need to get less things right? Like if Mac Jones passes for more yards this year, and like is way more productive than people think. Like if he can give you like Kirk Cousins-esque production, that's a real big smash for this team. I really like how this team shook out. We stopped at 8 wide receivers, and with me having Cooper Kupp, my bet of the 101 of wide receivers, like I kind of like putting the stress that he basically, I'm counting on him to be in the starting lineup all 17 weeks. And then, so therefore, me having 7 other guys, I only need 2 of those dudes. Because keep in mind, my flex can be filled by either Kittle or Andrews. My flex can be filled by one of the many running backs we have. He is 32. Okay, I mean, that's not that old, but man, he looked broken down last year. If you were in this draft and you want me to real quick look at your team, let me know. Otherwise, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I need to figure out how to make sure I'm doing the randomizing of the winner. Make sure I'm doing that all fair. So, gonna research to see how I can check if someone is subscribed and whatnot. Team 1, sure, we'll take a look at you. I like the way you did this with McCaffrey and then a bunch of wideouts. Grab Lamar, waited on your quarterback too. Some high finished up at running back here. With you having like these 4 guys, I don't know if I like this Tyler. I mean, whatever. It's a round 20 pick, but I don't think I'm going another running back here. 3 tight ends who's like nothing to write home about, but could do it. Thin on the stacks. You did get Lawrence and Ingram. You did get Jackson, Beatty, Duvernay. Round 17, Devin Duvernay. Like, oh, brother, if that's paying off costs, that's bad for me. You taking any Demarcus Robinson or lesser-owned Raiders with Carr? Not really. Like, I've done some Carr to Brandon Bolden teams, I think I have, but feels wrong to have Carr without Renfro, Waller, Adams. He was slow at 25 talking about Kyle Rudolph. Hey, brother. Yes, he was. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in today. We'll have some streams this weekend. We have a lot of great guests lined up for next week, hopefully. Have a great day. Enjoy your weekends. Get some good food in your bellies. NFL will be here soon.